Hi, I'm Donna Dewberry, the original creator of the FolkArt one-stroke painting technique. Welcome to the Let's Paint Studio right here at Plaid. Learning to paint has never been as easy as when I teach you how to load a brush with multiple colors where you can blend, shade, and highlight with one stroke of the brush. Our new program with Let's Paint FolkArt One Stroke this year is going to be all about learning how to paint 50 different types of flowers. And as you can imagine, 50 flowers makes the possibility endless to be able to paint floral designs. I'm thrilled that you've chosen to join me on this one-stroke journey. So let's paint. In this lesson, we're going to learn a geranium, and we're going to be learning this on the reusable teaching guide. We have FolkArt multi-surface paint that we're using, and let me tell you those colors. We've got apple red, citrus green, and sap green. We also put some floating medium in there because I'm not sure what surface you might be using, and I'll show you how to use that. Then we have one-stroke brushes, which are the 3/4 flat, the 12 flat, and a 2-script liner. So what we want to do is we're going to practice on the back of this sheet. And the first thing that we do with a geranium is that we put in the stems and the leaves. So let's practice that first. I'm going to wet this brush, lay it on the paper towel, take off the excess moisture, and then we're going to pick up citrus and sap. So if you look at this, I'm not going to go absolutely half and half. I'm going to do mostly citrus and a little bit of sap green, citrus green and sap green, okay? Back and forth. Come in here, pick up a little bit more, and work that into your brush really good, and then you're ready to go. A little bit more, back and forth. All right, so what we're going to do is work around, and I do this in 2 strokes, okay? So I'm going to start here, and I'm going to be halfway down, not all the way down, and not on the chisel. This is a chisel. So we're going to come around here, and we're going to go part way, and then about halfway, and then we start on this side. You see that nice green edge, dark green edge? That's what your eyes should be looking at. All right, so I'm going to let that sit a minute because it actually has to dry before we put the second coat on here. So I'm going to then take my 12 flat, and I'm going to pick up, I already dampened that and dried that. And so I'm going back and forth. I'm in the double loader, by the way. And so it makes it easier for you to keep track of the colors and not get muddy. And I'm going to be on the chisel of this flat brush, and I'm going to come up. I might go first, lead with the sap, and then sometimes I flip the brush and lead with the citrus, and it'll give you a different color. And then we have the stem that comes down, and those stems we're going to lift the citrus green, and the sap green will be a thinner line then when we do that. Let's also practice the little teeny leaves. And on this, we're going to make sure that we stay up more on the chisel and barely put pressure on these small little teeny leaves. Make sure that you have 2 shades. See, we have the sap and the green. And then we also lift the citrus green and pull the sap green into the leaf. All right, so what I'm going to do, we're going to use a wet wipe to take this off. And then I'm going to show you the red, because this will not, the apple red little color. And I love doing this. There are some geraniums that don't have that extra color of red, but I love it because you absolutely know it's a geranium. All right, so on this is when I would use a little bit of floating medium. I'm going to come over here and side stroke apple red just on one corner of this brush with the floating medium. And so then you're going to come right in here when the leaf is totally dry, and it has a ridge in here, like a stripe around the leaf, and I love the way that looks when it's all done. All right, so when we do our project, I'll wait and do other things and come back and do that so it'll be dry. And then you do need your stem inside of this. But we don't go all the way in, we just go partially, all right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wipe this off, baby wipe or paper towel, all right? And we're going to put this over here so we can see it as we go. All right. So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to have a large geranium in here. Pick up the paint. I'm going to have a bud that's out here kind of, and one that's here. Now you got to lift this front, whether you're using a 12 or a 3/4 flat. You're going to lift the front edge and drag the back edge. All right. So what I want to see in here are some of these leaves that we're going to go ahead and put in now. So I'm going to start here and put a V. Go 1, 2, 3, and we're ready. And we're going to stop halfway. And then we're going to go around this way and meet it in the middle. All right. So practice those a few times before you get started on your project. I'm going to have this come a little bit darker so you can see. I'm going to start right here. All right. And then I can come back, add a little bit more there. Now we're going to take our 12 to do the rest of the greenery. All right, so I am loading the 12 just like we just did. And I put a small leaf on here. All right, so what's going to happen on these little buds, that's where we push and lift like we're doing a daisy stroke. And we do a little bit over here. Let's go a little bit taller. Okay. Now, right in here, to do this geranium, we want to have some stems in here. All right. You can have some that come from here. And we're going to put a couple leaves. Okay. A little bit of a stem on here, leaf right there. Okay, so let's go practice our flower, and then we're going to come back, and maybe by then our leaves will be dry. Okay, so what we're doing is when you need some depth in an apple red color, bright red, then you can pick up some sap green just on the corner, and you have a deeper color. Instead of trying to use another color, we only have to use 3 colors here, so it makes it really nice. So look, we're going to pull right down here and show that depth. And then as you do this stroke, can you see that we are making the dark is in the middle, and we're getting those little petals with that bright red. All right, so you're gonna do the same thing as a 5-petal flower, but we put a little bit of a ripple to this. All right. Now, when we're up here, we can just pull down, or we can do a couple of little strokes like that, and then add. So if I'm doing this and this, then I could come in here and add a few of the little like buds, like it's popping open. All right. Now the next thing that's important to share with you is that we're going to make layered petals. All right. So that's definitely when that dark helps you. See all the way around. So this is how it looks layered. And that's what we want to do on our piece when we're making the clusters of geraniums. Okay, so we're going to wipe all this off so it doesn't dry on here. Okay, and now let's put it right here so you can see this is the geranium design that we're working on. And what's important is that you see that there's some light in here sometime. All right, so I'm going to start up here, and I want to put it a little bit higher. So I just get sap and apple red, sap green, apple red. Okay, and I'm going to come way up here first and remind myself of those strokes I'm doing. So if I come in here, and then every once in a while I'll do all 5. So see, you can't even tell that's a sap green, but it gives you some depth, so it looks like you're using a darker green, a darker burgundy. Okay, so now I have a couple of these little guys, and then I'm going to fill in. Okay, so now look at these buds. We're going to do a couple of petals, and then we're chisel edging. And I can turn one of these over on the edge, and so it's dark instead of just light. All right, and then this other one, we can just keep adding some little strokes in here. There we go. Now I'm going to wash my 12 flat. Now, I think this is dry enough. You can see if it's shiny or not. Get a little bit of floating medium on this brush. I make sure I dry it really good first. And then I'm going to, watch this, we're going to go right here and side stroke the red. So look, it'll give me that little bit on the side of this brush. Oh, I need a little bit more. There we go. So you're going to wiggle it just like you did when you were stroking it. Okay? Touches of citrus green. Okay. I had so much fun today sharing how easy it is to paint these flowers. They turned out gorgeous. Remember, practicing on the reusable teaching guides right over my strokes gives you so much painting confidence. Thank you for joining me here in the studio. And remember, we just learned one more of the flowers from the A to Z one-stroke floral painting sets. And I would love for you to take pictures and share them on our Let's Paint with Plaid Facebook group by hashtagging Let's Paint Challenge. Come on everybody, let's paint.